Hey everybody, so we got quite the crazy video here today. This lady, well, I'll let her speak for herself.
Black people in DC, get your and take care of them police officers like they should have been taken care of 50 years ago.
Wow, how brave of her. How about you get off your fat, lazy rear end and do it yourself, you freaking fat fatty. Oh my God, like, literally, these people always call for it, but they're like, oh, how about somebody rid me of this priest, you know what I mean? They don't go and do it themselves because they're cowards, first of all. Second of all, inciting violence? Really? You should probably spend the rest of your life in jail. That's just ridiculous. Are you kidding me? Going out there actually calling for the death of people who are not bad people at all? Just trying to protect others? You find that to be a problem. The fact that they hate police so much just really goes to show how much they hate following the law. And it's not a skin color issue. And I really, really hate when people like Nick Fuentes come out and say, oh yeah, it's because these people are low IQ. No. Bad food from food stamps. They buy nothing but junk. They feed it to their kids. That's how they get low IQ. It's always been food related. Always. We've always seen why the average IQ falls. It's because it's food related. Now, obviously, there are chromosomal issues, that could crop up in people. There's medical issues. There's things like that. But for the average person that is under the average IQ, so the average of the average, I guess you could say there, right? Those people usually just have a really, really bad diet growing up. And unfortunately, once they're grown up, there's nothing you can really do to improve your IQ like that. I'm sure there is probably some ways to a degree to get better if willing, really work at it, but you're not going to boost yourself up beyond, I just don't think you are. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe you can fix it, but I've never seen anybody who's low IQ fix their low IQ. Ever. I don't think there's ever been a situation where I've met somebody that was genuinely low IQ that fixed it later on. So it's kind of permanent damage. And you got to realize that whenever you're feeding your kids garbage, that's what you're going to do to them. And I'm talking about like things that you even may think are healthy, Like, I don't know, Hamburger Mac from like Hamburger Helper. Are there people out there that think that stuff's healthy? Feeding your kids only vegetables. They're not getting the proteins needed. If you do that, you need meat. Like really, like it is crazy to me looking at like veganism and stuff. Your kids can't survive on that. You're feeding your kids a vegan diet. No wonder they turn out to go and join Antifa. Literally, they're not high IQ enough because they're not getting the proper proteins they need from meat. It is wild, like, how people have just pushed this on. But anyway, seeing all this, you're going to see a bunch of racist people, unfortunately. This person here, hey, FBI Director Cash, I know you're busy, but you might want to pay a lady a visit. I don't think he's too busy. He's already covered up the Epstein files, so, Sounds a little treasony, But yeah, and then this person, oops, you shouldn't have said that. I'm just going to skip over the race garbage, Superior culture. Well, okay, culture is one thing. That's not race related. Let's see what they do here. Cake. Man, that is a lot of junk food. Oh, no. What? I misunderstood this. This was a public event where free cake was offered to attendees to enjoy with the music. This is how the attendees shared the cake. Wow. Why do y'all just grab it like why do y'all grab it like animals? What the heck? Seriously, just wait your turn. Was that Michelle Obama? Hell yeah. Pigs at the trough. Yeah, I mean, this is ridiculous. Wait, what was this from? Is that The Simpsons? It looks familiar. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, it's unbelievable. These people haven't had a father in their life. A lot of them haven't had fathers in their lives. A lot of them have not been taught how to act in public. It's unbelievable. This picture does genuinely, like, show them. I wish they were alive today just to see how far we've come. This is a great picture. Because this is how black people used to be. Genuinely. Most black people very respectable. It sucks that we had literally the best version of their culture during the worst possible time for them. You know, not the worst possible time. I guess the slavery would have been the worst possible time. But segregation still. That wasn't great. We desegregate, and then we have the state come in and completely ruin their lives. It sucks because I used to think, growing up, and when I first, voted for Trump even, back in 2020, I was pretty well convinced still at that point that there was no systemic racism. And then really just looking at how the Democrats treat black people. It's no different from whenever they treated how they treated black people whenever they were part of the KKK. When Democrats created that. And then when Democrats started the whole Civil War, right? It's kind of wild. They claim that there's a party shift, but there's just no evidence to support a party shift whatsoever, which doesn't make any sense. If there was a party shift, what it was is the Democrats realized how bad they had lost. And so a few of them switched over to Republican, and probably a few switched over to Democrat. And then it got murky because you know how people are. They're tribal. Even in the 60s, they would have been tribal. A lot of people would have been like, no, I'm staying Republican. And a lot of people would have been like, no, I'm staying Democrat, So if there was a party switch, it was more of a party mingling. And that explains why we have so much of a uniparty all the way up until Obama got elected. Bush, what did Obama do to contradict Bush? Not one Democrat can tell me anything that what Obama did to contradict Bush. Because even when it came to the free healthcare stuff, Bush literally backed it. Said he thought it was a good thing. They never contradicted each other. Just absolutely unbelievable to see this. So seeing what all's going on right now in Washington, D.C., just looking at a couple of these, look at this. Another failure of long-term Democrat rule, Like, people actually feel safe, genuinely, seeing that the military is around. They see that the homelessness is down. And they're able to walk the streets. Winning U.S. National Guard troops patrol outside Union Station, surrounding areas in Washington, D.C. As a result, reports are emerging that the homeless loitering is way down. People can actually be in the area and feel safe. So while this lady's calling for violence against police, what she doesn't realize is those officers weren't even really doing their jobs. Or at least they weren't allowed to. I don't know how many officers are compromised, but these are the wrong people anyway. Because they're not the ones making Washington, D.C. safe right now. It's our military. And I dare someone to go up to these guys. Look at what they're wearing, guys. First of all, you ain't getting a shot off on these guys. It ain't gonna happen. Someone's gonna find out, though. There's gonna be one idiot that finds out. This car right here, this Humvee, it ain't a police car. You fire a round off into it, it's gonna bounce off. These are bulletproof windows. I'm pretty sure. I don't think these are just for show. I don't think they brought out the show Humvees. I think they have the actual armored Humvees. And I mean, look at what's on top of the Humvee too. Now, I don't know if they're active. But do you really think that would be a smart idea? Because if someone does somehow end up in a pinch, which I'm sure this guy's armed to the teeth, he gets up on that, you're going to look like Swiss cheese. Obviously, never would happen. You'd have to worry about where they're going to go through, and that would probably go through several buildings. But who's going to look at that, see that amount of arms, and just be like, you know what, I'm going to take my 9. You know what I mean? Be crazy. When Trump is cornered, he does even more irrational and destructive things against us all. Recently, he sent the National Guard to patrol Washington, D.C. Oh, man, that's so irrational and destructive. You know what? This is how tyrannical countries run. They put their military in cities, and if they catch a civilian even looking at them wrong, they haul them off to a camp. We're not doing that, are we? Can you find one instance of any of our military guys doing that? Of our president suggesting that? Of anybody doing anything like that? No. Not even close. He said that's ironic because he couldn't pick up the phone and activate National Guard to protect U.S. Capitol on January 6th. Really now? Are you sure about that? Nancy Pelosi admits Jan 6. Let's see. What does she say here? right in the car. Let's see what Nancy Pelosi says, okay? Come on, really? Oh, that's frustrating. Gotta love X. Gotta absolutely love X. Yep, no, just, fantastic. Piece of garbage. You know, and Elon wanted that to work out. What is going on? I don't want on Instagram. I just want the video.
We have
Here we go.
responsibility. We have responsibility, Terry. We did not have any accountability for what was going on there, and we should have. This is ridiculous. You're going to ask me in the middle of the thing when they've already breached the inaugural stuff that should we call the Capitol Police? I mean the National Guard? Why weren't the National Guard there to begin with?
They thought that they had sufficient resources.
That is not a question of how they have. They don't know. They clearly didn't know, and I take responsibility for not having them just prepare for more. We have.
There you go. She takes responsibility for not being prepared. That is absolutely ridiculous. Like, unbelievable. You know what I mean? As a matter of fact, this guy here that's sitting there talking crap, no one could reply. Idiot liar, you know? So, I mean, it's just, what an absolute coward. What an absolute coward to sit here and be like, duh, I'm gonna make all this up and I won't let anybody correct me ever. Ever. Like, that is crazy. Can anybody post it? Okay, cool. You are a liar. There we go. At least I can somewhat tag into him here. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Oh, hey, let's see what Sesame Street has going on. Let's see. Sorry we're late. Oh, God. Elmo, let her out of the oven early. There we go. Alrighty, you guys. That's how I'm getting in this video. Why not? It's a crazy Saturday. Who cares? I'm just having a little bit of fun with this video for the most part because we all know that this lady, she isn't going to be able to rally anybody up. She's just absolutely obsessed with stuffing her face. But she should be picked up, forklifted into the nearest prison, and locked away. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys here in the next one. Later.